This video is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to run your business and build a beautiful looking website. I have a love-hate relationship with editing. I do love the process towards the end as it comes together. It's just that initial assembly part, especially on long edits, like my 2-hour review of the Sony FX9. That took up a lot of time, and that's the problem. It does suck up so much of your time, way more than the actual shooting part. No matter what edit platform you use, it is the same. There is a way you can make this slightly less painful. Actually, sometimes it can be immensely less painful, and that is to shoot less footage. Don't overshoot. It's important to have enough shots, but you don't want to go crazy and have way too much stuff. Let me tell you a little story. It was quite a while ago, it must have been about 10, 11 years ago, and I was shooting a documentary for Discovery HD. I was using a Panasonic Vericam, and it was tape, DVC Pro tape. The director was so excited because this was the first time he was shooting video. He'd only ever directed documentaries that'd been on film. And with film, you've got to be very, very careful how much you shoot because it's very expensive. Video is, of course, way cheaper. And he made me shoot a lot of stuff. His interviews went on for a very long time, and I shot so much B-roll you won't believe it. Tapes upon tapes upon tapes upon tapes. A couple of months later he phoned me up asking if I knew where a particular sequence was, because he couldn't find it because there were so many tapes. And this is the problem. If you have so much material, finding stuff can be very hard. It takes a lot of time, and your time isn't free, it costs money. If I'd shot a lot less, the edit time would have been drastically shorter. So knowing how much you need to film does come with experience. The more you shoot, the more you know. And certainly if you're editing your own material, you get an idea if you're under or overshooting. I first learned to edit over 20 years ago when I was working at Sky News. I was a news cameraman, and the manager asked who wanted to learn how to edit because they take us off the roster for 3 weeks and they train us up. Surprisingly for me, there was 25 cameramen and only 3 people put their hands up, and I was one of them. It seemed crazy, it's free training. So I did the training, and that was tape to tape. None of the E's of NLEs. You had to make hard decisions about what you were going to do. But it also made you very, very quick. NLEs make you indecisive. Editing tape to tape really makes you think hard about what needs to go where. And after that training, I went out and did my first bureau cover abroad, and I was editing my own material for the first time. And so I shot my first story, and I looked at the footage, and I went, who the shot this? It was me. And the next day when I was shooting and editing my next piece, it was so much better. Overnight, I'd become 10 times better at shooting. I'm pretty sure most people who are watching this have at least at some point edited their own footage. It's not like back in the day, back in the old days where I'm from, where cameramen were cameramen and editors were editors. These days, many of us do everything. And that brings us onto this video. With this exercise that I'm going to show you, you'll be able to improve your shooting and cut down on your edit time. It isn't that easy to do, it's quite challenging, but if it was easy, there's no point in practicing it. How many of you, when you go out shooting, actually use a shot list? Writing down the shots that you need to get to tell your story. I'm not talking storyboard, that's something much more, just a basic shot list. How many of you? And how many of you, when you've got to the edit, have seen that you've not got enough shots? You found you've missed things. You don't have a wide of that, or a cutaway of this, or a close-up of him or her. We've all done it. I've done it. And because of this, how many of you have ended up having to reuse shots, maybe slow them down, punch in, all that sort of thing? That's your get out of jail free card, isn't it? But what if you didn't have that? What if what you shot was all you could use? What if you had to shoot things actually in order? What if you actually had to shoot things knowing that it wasn't going to be edited at all? That every shot that you did was what was going to go out. Literally, what was going to be going out. What I would normally do when I'm filming a sequence is run through everything as a wide and then go through and get the different shots that I need, rather than go for a bit of a wide, going for a close-up, come back out to a wide, because of course that takes a lot more time. But that's exactly what I'm going to get you to do in this. By doing this exercise, it's really going to make you think very hard about the shots you need for your sequences. Big thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I'm pretty sure you have heard of them before, because I don't think this is the first video that they have sponsored, but it's the first time they've sponsored one of my videos. And I use Squarespace, so it actually makes sense. 5 years ago, my rather big website, which had my blog and all of my work stuff, was broken up into two separate sites. The blog was kept separate because it's just a massive, huge thing. And the new site, the new work site, was created with Squarespace. It was the obvious choice. It's incredibly easy to use. The templates are fantastic. You can create your own website very quickly and very easily. And for somebody like me who doesn't have a clue about coding websites, it's an absolute breeze. There's a fantastic short film festival called Straight 8, which is where they send you a Super 8 cartridge and you make your film by that sort of process. You pull the trigger on the shot and you let go and you get your next shot. You position yourself, get your actors, whatever it is, ready, and you go for your next shot and you let go. You then send them your cartridge, they develop it, and the first time you'll see it is at the film festival. It could be fantastic, or it could have gone horribly wrong. I did a story about the Straight 8 Film Festival for Channel 5 News about 12, maybe 11 years ago, shot in exactly that same way. Everything was chronological, stop, start, and I didn't see it until it went out, which was crazy.
But today, we're doing things Straight 8 style, and it could all go horribly wrong.
This is Straight 8, short films made on old-fashioned Super 8 cameras like we used to make home movies with.
This is Will, who's one half of Will and George, and they made the film we've just seen. And because we're so tight for time, I'm going to give him 15 seconds to tell us what challenges this method of filmmaking presents. Go.
Okay, I get sent one roll of this film from Straight 8, I put it in my camera, and then I have to plan my whole film in advance, and every time I pull the trigger, it makes that noise, and it takes one scene of my film. So I have to edit it all in order in camera just by pulling that and letting go.
That's all we've got time for. Stop. The unedited films are given to Ed Sayers, the guy behind Straight 8, and he does the actual developing. But Ed, why would filmmakers want to do this to themselves, and why am I doing this to myself? Oh, you've got 15 seconds?
Well, I think it's strangely liberating to have all these restrictions. Everybody's got no budget, everybody has not much time, no one can do any retakes, and no one has the opportunity to edit. But when you finish shooting in this painful way, you have actually finished your film. You don't have to carry on editing. All you do is wait and find out if you were good enough to be shown at one of our screenings. And tomorrow night we're screening the best of 2007 at the Raindance Film Festival. Stop.
And if you're still not sure how it works, any music has to be added here and now.
You can do special effects, but it looks rubbish.
Bing! See, I've disappeared.
But most important of all is the fact that Phil has to turn the camera on and off at the right. And that's it. We're back at the office and out of time. Thanks. Hope it turns out all right.
If you're still not sure exactly how to do this, and to show you the thought process that I have when shooting, here is an excerpt from episode 4 of my Filmmaking for Photographers Masterclass for MZ. This episode is all about sequences, and this is a chunk about the edit in camera.
So 134, scene 23, shot 1, take 1.
So I've decided we're going to make the most of the snow on this. Bash is going to use this sled, and he's going to pick it up and he's going to go out and, well, hopefully not kill himself. because we still have a day's more filming to go, I'm afraid, so I can't lose you just yet. So rather than take the camera out with me and look at the shots, I'm just going to look with my eye, and I don't really use a notepad for something as simple as this, but just if you are starting out doing these things, it does help. So my initial shot will be probably hat on, tight shot, and then it will be probably shoes. Then it'll be a tight shot of picking up the sled. I think because there's so much stuff in the kitchen and a mirror, if I come where Julian is, I can get a nice wide. So this will be where we have Bash coming out with the sled in his hand. So Julian has the benefit of a nice gimbal for walking. So I'm on a tripod. I could shoot a handheld, but I'm going to be on a tripod. So I'm going to do a walking shot, but all my shots so far have been of front on of Bash. So my next shot will be Bash walking down this way, and my camera will be back there as he walks along. We've got lovely sun coming through the trees, and we have nice leading lines. I will get a tight shot of the sled on ground. And this is where we completely come unstuck with this whole concept of shooting a sequencing camera, in that it would be so cool to do this from two angles as if we had two cameras. And the way we traditionally do this when we are filming is to run through it twice. So the angles I would really love to do if I wasn't doing this as an editing camera would be this wide of him going off with the actual castle. I would like to do one as a reverse. So what I'm going to do is do my editing camera sequence first, and then I'm going to shoot 2 additional shots, 2 additional angles of him going down, and then we can see how well that works in the edit, from both the in-camera edit to a more finessed version. Because of this magic light, I feel like I should do a shot through here, so I could put that in between shots 5 and 6. So this is the gear I'm using, Sony a7 III Rode Video Mic Pro Plus for some Atmos. And talking about Atmos, the Atomos Ninja 5 for monitoring. And I am on a 35mm SLR Magic Cine Prime. This is the tricky bit. I have to hit record, start and stop at exactly the right moment, because this is our sequence. So let's rehearse. I'll get you to get your hat in your hands. Okay, look at the camera, and then 3, 2, look down. Yeah, look down without tilting your head one more time, just because you go out of frame. So it's hat on, and then I can cut to your feet. 3, 2, 1. One at a time, so it's going to be a jump cut. Yeah, like that. Can you just pull it up? Show me how you pull it up. That's fine. Do it 2 of those, okay? So I'm going to film the very first part of that, and then you can lace it up, and then we'll do the second one. 3, 2, 1. It's not quite enough, but we'll have to live with it. In 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Can you hear me okay? Great. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. So, Bash, going to get you to come up from the bottom of the stairs. My record is going to hit actually when I'm, don't worry about this, but I'm actually going to hit record when he's a little bit closer up. I don't want the whole thing. And Bash, you're going to walk along here, left of camera. 3, 2, 1, action. Beautiful. I couldn't have asked for a better performance. So I'm going to open up my notepad and have a look. So I should have been a doctor, because this is illegible, but that requires lots of university and stuff, not for me. Hat on, shoes, sled pickup, door open from the outside. This actually says, believe it or not, wide, high terrace tower, which is there. And just here, which you can really see very clearly, it says 5A, something squiggly weck trace, which I think might have been the shot through the trees. Yeah, this is the wiggly, whatever I called it, thing. trace, which other is basically shot through the trees, backlit. Not quite sure what I wrote. 3, 2, 1, action. All the way to the wall. Look out, and off you go to the stairs. So I'm going to attempt another rack focus, and this sequence is clearly brought to you by the lovely people at North Face, because it's going to be right in shot. And it'll only be legible though if I make sure I get my rack focus correct. If you can't read it, it means I screwed it up. Let's do a practice. So, and you can just get your walk off that way, and on the 3, 2, 1. So 3, 2, 1. Oh, I totally screwed it up. 3, 2, 1. Oh, if only I was recording on that. I got it right. Okay, this is the one. Wide of stupid idea was this? Julian. In 3, 2, 1. So this will be the end of our in-camera edit. So I'm going to go really low on the tripod, and again going off, I'm going to be focused on, I'm going to have to try and rack again. 3, 2, 1. Lovely, come back. This is such a lovely shot, and it'll be criminal not to use it. I couldn't use it in the in-camera edit because it's a second angle and it won't work that way, because it's the same thing that I'm cutting from him coming down halfway, which I then cut to this shot. So for a more finessed edit, which I'm going to do that as well, we can use it. Okay, Bash, are you ready for this? I don't need to do an exact timing on record because this is not for the in-camera edit. I'm going to hit record, which is a much nicer way of recording. And 3, 2, 1, go! He still went off. Go. Perfect. Look out, and off you go to the stairs. That's great. You can pick up my new course at this link, which is also in the description. Hopefully this makes things nice and clear for you. because I'm asking you to use the time that you have right now to actually do this and practice it. I want you to shoot sequences of things around the house, in your garden, of your family, but specific sequences that do tell a story. It can be a very simple story. It can be the story of making breakfast. It can be the story of getting ready in the morning. It can be anything you want it to be. You just can't edit it. And just as importantly, you can't cheat. Because if you cheat and do edit it, what's the point of doing this exercise? When you've done them, offload your card, chuck them onto your timeline. Do not change anything. Do not add any dissolves. Do not do any color correction. Do not do any tidying up whatsoever. That is your edit. That is the in-camera edit. Upload them to your YouTube, put them as unlisted, unless it's something so amazing you want the whole world to see, and pop it in the comments below. You may then get asked by me for you to send me a high quality version, because in about 2 or 3 weeks time, I'm going to do a follow-up video, which is going to showcase the best examples. Hopefully the ones I pick will have been done without any cheating. I think if something's too perfect, I'm going to be able to know. So good luck with your in-camera edits. Don't be dismayed if your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. attempt doesn't go very well. Just have fun and enjoy yourself and be as creative as you can. I really can't wait to see what you come up with.